So, cheers, everybody. Welcome all. Appreciate you all being here. And now let's go ahead and get into the sample, shall we? So we're going to start off with my scotches of the year. And man, just had some absolute hitters coming in late as well. And thank you again, everyone that sent samples. This community just amazing. So thank you, everybody. Regardless of whether your samples made the list or not, I had so many great samples. It was honestly very hard to narrow it down. I had like 35-ish that were kind of in my really good sample box, but there was hundreds more that didn't make the cut that were still very good. So thank you is short of it. So let's get into it. So 2 in a row from the same person. Third place in Scotch, the Kilchoman 12-year in bourbon barrels, thanks to Alex, the Moose. Yeah, cheers to you, Alex. Thank you, buddy, so much for this flight. So many great scotches in that flight, and man, this one was so good. In fact, I'm gonna have to find a way to get a bottle of that Kilchoman 12-year bourbon barrel if they're still in here around, because my God, what an epic scotch. Next up, another one I'd love to have, but I know the price range is probably out of my price range. But wow, my favorite ended up being my favorite sample as I went back to them from Alex the Moose, the Octomore 11.1. Wow, just epically good. Second place of all the scotches I tried this year, just really stinking good. So thank you, Alex. So 2 entries in the wheel for Alex. So stinking good, both of those. But the winner, and just by a nose, a hair, whatever, also just tried it in the last couple weeks. Glen Scotia PX finished peated 8-year, 113 proof 2022 festival release, thanks to the amazing Mr. Jiggs. Jiggs, man. Of course, when did I try this? I think it was on Ben's stream late one night. Immediate just happiness. So happy. You can't drink this and be sad. This bottle, wow, epic scotch. Probably have to talk to you guys about, finding some of these bottles, because good Lord. So for any of you that are looking for some great scotches, could not recommend those 3 enough. Of course, Octomore is pricey, but I think the other 2, I don't know the availability of either one of the other 2, actually. So, but anyway, we'll talk more about that later, but just all those fantastic again. So third place, Kilchoman 12-year bourbon barrel, Octomore 11.1, second place, and then the Glen Scotia PX finished and peated 8-year was first place in the Scotch section. Next, we're moving on to rye samples of the year. And again, had some absolute hitters. Thank you guys so much. In third place, we got the Sagamore Spirit Cognac Cask, a rye, which is always one of my favorites every year, sent in by the Turks. Wow, thank you guys so much. Of course, Patreons, and just do so much for the community. The Turks are awesome, and they sent me a ton of great samples this year. This just happened to be my favorite of theirs. So thank you, Turks. You're on the wheel as well. And then 21090 sending in a Sagamore Port. And just like last year, the Port just barely beating out the Cognac. But both those, if you can get either one of those ryes, absolutely phenomenal ryes. The 2022 Port, which is what this is, it's not the 23. Really, really stinking good. And Sagamore just keeps doing great stuff. Although, things are changing there, but hopefully they continue to be good. So that was the Sagamore Port was our second place. The Cognac Cask Sagamore Cognac Cask third place. Port is second place. And then our first place sent in by Dellen Robbins. Man, this rye, Dellen, this is a Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye, the new ones, not the special release. But man, did he get an absolutely hitter bottle. It doesn't say on here what it is, but that is what it is. 134 proof Jack Daniel's single barrel proof. And wow, very reminiscent of the flavors that I got in the special release. Just such a great bottle. So good on you, Dellen, for having that phenomenal barrel, first of all, because mine was kind of a stinker, honestly. So I'm glad to see that there are some really great ones out there. But yeah, that was our first place in the rise. So all those folks going on the wheel as well. And now to the big category, the bourbons. It was hard for me to narrow these down to 3. So I did a top 5 plus an additional honorable mention. The honorable mention is what I'm drinking, and that's also from Dell & Robbins, and it's the Dragon Milk Origins. Just absolutely killer, 100 proof. Wow, didn't even know this existed, and so stinking good. I don't know what the availability is. Maybe Dylan, you could drop that in the comments. But yeah, I got to get my hands on one of those. Such a great pour, and really nice at 100 proof. I mean, so much flavor for a 100 proofer. Yeah, so again, the Dragon Milk Origins are runner up or honorable mention in the bourbon category, but only because everything else in the top 5 is all cask strength stuff and also just absolutely ridiculous releases. I was very fortunate to have some people send some very, very nice samples this year. So, Dylan, don't feel bad that yours is an honorable mention because what's ahead of it is all just insane. So, next up, and this is our 5th place, also from the Turks, the Nashville Barrel Company Rum Gift Shop Pick. So this is a rum finished bourbon, but my God, Nashville Barrel Company known for picking great barrels, and this is no exception. And I'm usually not a huge rum finish guy, but it just works so well in this Nashville Barrel bottle. Yeah, 137.7 proof. So a hot gal, but man, just so much flavor. And I think all of you are aware that, yeah, Nashville is doing some absolutely stellar stuff. So that is our 5th place in the bourbon category. Next up, 4th place, another one from Jigs, the Stag 2022B Batch 19, 130 proof. Wow, what a great batch. And it probably, and any other year, this probably would have been first place. But what's ahead of it are just some epically, just things you're not going to find a whole lot anymore ever. So that's the only reason this in 4th. And thank you again, Jigs, for that sample. In fact, I spilled some of this, so he sent me more because Jigs is just awesome. Now to the top 3, and all 3 of these are just... Thank you so much to the folks that sent them in because, wow. Well, actually, this one I got at Bourbon on the Banks. I've talked about it before. This is our 3rd place and is the Joseph Magnus Batch 9. I don't even know where you would get a Joseph Magnus cigar batch 9 these days. But Blake Benson had one at Bourbon on the Banks. And then I loved it so much. He's like, hey, I got sample bottles. You want to take some home? And I was like, hell yeah. So yeah, I got a 2-ouncer from Blake Benson. So Blake, thank you so much, man. What an epic thing to share and also bring to a bottle share in the first place. I don't even know where you'd find another one, but yeah, batch 9, Joseph Magnus. Yeah, just awesome of Blake to share with everybody. And, I got to bring home 2 ounces and it finished very well. And really the only thing that could possibly beat something that epic is what I have in my hands. Both sent in by the same guy. He's right there in the comments. 2nd place, Stag Junior Batch 10. That was our 2nd place. And the only thing that beat that was Stag Junior Batch 9. And again, thank you, Shredword, for both of these. And thank you for sharing, man. Because again, I don't know where you would even find these days. And if you could find them, the price would be absolutely insane. So thank you so much, man, for sharing these 2. And you also are going on the wheel. 3, you got 3 entries because you got a winner and also 2nd place. So yeah, 3 entries for Shred. So thank you again, everybody that sent in samples this year. You guys are the best. Thank you for sharing just epic whiskey with me. It was a great year all around for samples and whiskey. So thank you, all of you. Again, just the best damn community in the world, and I love y'all. So, yeah, thanks. Thanks so much, and cheers, everybody.